All right, so something happened earlier in the week. If you monitor these types of things, Chad in L.A. shows up for the first time in quite some time. And when a guy like that just shows up, you never know exactly where they're going to go or who they're going to go in on or what they're going to go in on. Well, apparently this guy wanted to go in on Mark in Hollywood and the size of his head, seemingly unprovoked. But knowing Mark in Hollywood the way I know Mark in Hollywood, it wasn't going to take him long to respond, and sure enough, here he is. Let's go to Hollywood. Mark, what's going on? Good morning. How are you?
Good, man. I'm doing good. You know, Jim, sometimes you have to let the child touch the stove so they know that it's hot. Yeah, I mean, the clones ran back to me that some dude named Chad in L.A. took a run at me yesterday. Don't know who he is. I couldn't find him on the Google. So I went back and listened to that crap that we just heard, the creepy diatribe about another man's head. And during that borderline erotic confessional, I could have sworn I heard Joe in Hollywood's music in the background. Oh, Mark, his head is so big. Mark's head. Let me guess, you freak. I do for you what Ezekiel Elliott does for Mike Irvin. When you were scripting that call, did it make you want to run to the bathroom or the Target parking lot, you perv? But, Jim, I did eventually remember this sad sack because when he rolled up on me at Del Mar, I was taken aback about how stick-figure skinny this pervert was. Hey, Quagmire, blow doesn't count as part of your nutritious breakfast. Jim, when this toothpick came up to me and immediately asked me for a signed headshot, I got really hyped because I was like, oh, my God, Callista Flockhart wants to put me in her new movie. For God's sakes, Chad, put your finger down. Your finger is not for dieting. But no, he introduced himself as Chad in L.A., and I'm like, oh, cool, bro. What part of L.A. are you from? And his answer, quote, oh, you know, all parts of L.A. We know what that means, don't we, clones? Hashtag bump smack. Look, bag in L.A., you better take a good glimpse in the mirror, or bag in L.A. using Park Lakes as mirrors. Eat a meal, wore bag in L.A. stealing bread from ducks, and get some rest, wore bag in L.A. using egg crates as an air mattress. Because if you're not careful, you're going to end up like Johnny Idiot Face, except without the money, the girls, the parties, the fame, and any recognizable shred of talent. So basically just a drugged-up zit stain. And in the words of J.D. in Nashville, Shummon, there's a pervert in the jungle right now, and I'll tell you once again, it's Chad. P.S. Hey, Passon, I know you're really enjoying your 15 minutes, but regurgitating every word from the dictionary does not a smack-off champ make. I don't care if you memorized every word from aardvark to zygogeton. That still doesn't make you Shakespeare, homie. Make the world a better place. Let Mark in Hollywood bust Jeff Passan in his smug, stupid face. Watch the throne.
Oh, no. Uh-oh! Mark in Hollywood. Getting started early. Bro, you know it's not smack-off season yet, right? That's a smack-off worthy call right there. 1-800-636-8686. There's certain guys you don't want to pick a fight with. I know a lot of you look at Mark and his giant head and his headshots and the fact that he's an actor in Hollywood. And you think, man, I could take that guy. We had this conversation the other day, right? We had this conversation when Jeff Passan jumped in. Cal in Vegas. And I said the same thing about Cal. I know what Cal's thinking. Cal is looking at Passan and thinks that's an easy mark. It's like anybody in the world who does this. He looked at him and he thought, I could take that guy. I can take that guy. I can handle that guy. We've all seen that look, right? This is what guys do. They look at each other like that. I can take that guy. I know I can handle that guy. That's what Cal did to Passan, and it went very badly for Cal. And it's still going badly for Cal. I've got a feeling that's exactly what happened with Chad. Now, Chad came in yesterday, and Chad took that run at Mark. It was pretty funny. It was strong. It was good. And I'll admit it, I was happy to hear from Chad. I'm always happy to hear from somebody in the smack-off who hasn't called for a while, and then they show up, and they do pretty well. And it seemed to be going pretty well. But I guarantee that Chad, much like Cal, looked at Mark, maybe even saw him at Del Mar, and said, I can take that guy. That guy's an easy mark. You know, why would you punch a guy in the face that you didn't think you could handle? Why would you punch a guy in the face if you thought he was going to hit you 5 times in response? You wouldn't, right? You wouldn't. Well, that's what just happened. So a lot of you are not Team Mark in Hollywood, but I'm telling you, he's not necessarily what he appears. He's got some dog in him. He just showed it. This guy will get dirty. He starts off by saying, let the child touch the stove. They've got to find out. But I think it was more than that. I don't think the kid touched the stove. I think the kid sat on the stove and couldn't get off. Your reaction to it. Never too soon to get ready for the smack-off season. Mark has won before, as you can tell. Now what, Chad? Where are you going to go from there?